Good morning, friends. Let us look at a few more questions. Indian Constitution is made up of how many words? Indian Constitution is a pretty long constitution. Right? It has got 80,000 words. It's a long one. It has got 395 articles, 22 parts, 8 schedules, etc. It's a long constitution. Why it was so long? Because this was written by predominantly by lawyers. That's why it's a very verbose. And another reason is it is copied from multiple places, from multiple constitutions of multiple countries. Obviously, it became longer, right? So, India's constitution is kind of long and it took more than 2 years to finish it. And the correct answer here is 80,000 words in English. It was first written in English because wherever it copied, most of it, wherever it copied from English language and it has got 80,000 words. Right, next one. The constitution of which country is the longest written constitution of any sovereign country in the world? Obviously, it is India. Right? Other constitutions are not so long. India's is very long because it is taken from multiple places and written predominantly by lawyers. Next, first country to make constitution is it is USA. USA is a it has made this constitution somewhere around 1700, 1788. Very long ago it has done. This is the first country, and it was pretty fast also. They finished the constitution within 4 months, whereas India took it more than 2 years. Next, the original 1950 constitution of India is preserved in. It is preserved in Parliament House, right? Not in President's home or Prime Minister's home or archaeological survey. It is Parliament House, so that probably any MP, whoever wants to read the constitution, they can always read it in the parliament, right? If you keep it in someone's house, then it will become little difficult for them to read. And another reason, this archaeological survey, archaeological is something that keeps us old items, right? And this constitution is not an old item. It was just written, right? In 1950 it was just written, so there's no point keeping it in archaeological survey. If it is some Akbar's sword or some Ashoka's crown, then there is a point. You can keep it in archaeological places. But it's a constitution that was just written, so there's no point keeping it in an archaeological place. Right. Next, the drafting committee wrote the Indian constitution in which language? They have written in only English language, and then also it took 2 years. If they had to write, if they were to write in multiple languages, it would have taken much longer. And why English language? Because our constitution is a copy or copy paste from multiple constitutions, and most of them are in English. So obviously, our constitution also became came in English, and at the same time, English people were ruling us, so it was quite natural that our constitution is also in English. Next, what does the wheel in the national flag represent? Wheel is a Dharma Chakra, Ashok Chakra. Wheel represents truth. Okay, because it is kind of dharma chakra. What goes around comes around. What is dharma? What goes around comes around, right? It is kind of circle. Karma is kind of circle, dharma is kind of circle, so wheel is kind of circle. So truth is represented as wheel. And what is this wheel? This is Ashoka chakra, and this has got 24 spokes, which we see in our national flag. In the national flag of India, for example, in this question, Ashoka chakra. What is this? This is that wheel. This wheel has how many spokes? It has got 24 spokes. Next. Who among the following was the first Minister of Finance in independent India? Please note this is independent India. Shanmugam Chetty. This person was the first finance minister. And this John Mathai was the railway minister. Right. And Likhai Talikan. This guy was also a finance minister, but it was an interim government, which was in 1946. Here the question is about independent India. That means after 1947. So the answer is Shanmugam Chetty. This Likayat Khan. Likhayat Khan was the finance minister in the interim government, not the complete government, not the independent government after independence. Okay, next. When did India become a complete sovereign democratic republic? This was on 26 November 1949. That is the day when all the members of the Constitutional Assembly they agreed and signed the constitution written by the drafting committee. Drafting committee they took 2 years and then finally wrote, and then all the 390 members, right? All the members they have actually 390 plus members, right? They have actually signed the document that is going forward. This will be our constitution, and then they have chosen the date as 26 Jan 1950 from which it will be applicable. But at the same time, they have also said that certain articles are applicable from 26 November 1949 and remaining articles will be applicable from 26 Jan 1950. So, and this article, right, that India is a democratic republic, they declared that India would be a complete sovereign democratic republic from 26 November 1949 itself. Right. So the correct answer is 26 November 1949. Next, which of the following country has a non-written constitution? Non-written constitution. Some countries have non-written constitution. UK is one of them. For example, New Zealand, Israel, these countries also have non-written constitution. What does that mean? That means there is no single document where all the laws are written. In India, USA, everywhere, all the laws are written. There is a proper constitution, but in these places, there is no consolidated place. Next one. A unitary form of government is that in which all the powers are concentrated in the hands of. Unitary form of government means strong center. Right. So that means the other government is federal type of government. Federal type of government is collection of different states. For example, USA. Collection of different states. Unitary means there is only one government which is the central government. The power is in the center. That is unitary form of government. So the powers are concentrated in the hands of central government. Federal means it's kind of distributed. India is kind of federal government because there is a center also and there are different states also. USA is a federal type of government, different states, and there's a center also. Bicameral system. Bicameral system is a feature of which of the following forms of government. Bicameral means two two chambers, lower house, upper house. That is bicameral. So, and this is generally a form of federal type of government because one of the house is kind of representation of the different states. Federal means what? Collection of states. So each state sends some of its members. That is into one of the houses. Another house is an elected house, and because state has a representation, state also has representation into one of the house, then that is called federal system. Two bicameral means it is kind of two chambers, and generally one of them is represented by the states, so that's why it is called it is bicameral and it is form of federal system. Next one. The division of powers and independence of judiciary are two important features of this. Again, these are features of federal character of government. Federal is collection of states and its distribution of power also. It's a division of power also. Next one. The serious fault in federal form of government is, see, federal form of government is, as we discussed, is a collection of states. Right. Few states collectively decide that we are together and we form a country. Now, obviously, there is always a threat that one of the states say that I don't like this country. I want to get out of this country. I want to create my own country. I don't want to be part of this. Right. Because earlier they agreed to be together, and at some point they can also say, now it is no longer in my benefit. I want to move out of this agreement. That is this threat of separatism. Some state can say the being in the country is more damaging to me than doing good to me. That's why I want to move out of this union. For example, Brexit. Brexit, though it is not a federal government, but in the union, Britain wanted to get out of that agreement. That's why it's separated. Now, similarly, in a federal form of government, when there is a lot of friction between the central government and the state government, then the state government might as well think of getting out of the country. So that is called the threat of separatism. This fault or this threat is there in federal form of government, not in central form of government. Form of government, there is no state, right? There's only country, only central leadership. So that's why there is no threat of separatism. Next, which of the following has the feature of dual citizenship? Dual citizenship is again federal government. One citizenship is from the country, another from the state. For example, in USA, they'll have a central citizenship and they'll have a state level citizenship. That's why it is dual citizenship. Citizenship, right, guys? Hope hope you liked the simple important questions that have come up in previous years SSC papers. We'll take up more questions in the subsequent videos. Thank you.